Hello, everyone. It's Manjiri Narkani, Ayurvedic MD, registered holistic nutritionist, back today. So, today is going to be an amazing topic. We are so close to the holiday season, just about a week away. And I know everybody is looking forward to meeting their families either in person or virtually, and really celebrating it with some delicious food. And I like holidays, I like festivities because of the food, right? Like, I love food. I like festivities because of the food. So today we're going to talk about healthy eating during the holiday season, right? So if you are someone who's indulging in a lot of eggnogs or lots of wine, or a lot of like the fatty, greasy foods, and if you find yourself out of control with it, right? That's what we're going to talk about today. So the one thing that I would like to get started is, I know I'm going to talk about healthy holiday food swaps today, but you don't have to deprive yourself completely, right? So make sure you're not completely depriving, because if you decide that, or if you are too hard on yourself, if you decide I'm not going to touch this, I'm going to restrict myself, I'm going to behave, then you're putting a lot of pressure on you, and that itself is going to create a lot of stress and could also set you up for failure, right? So and this is exactly the reason why people go on diets where they'll eat salad for a week, and after a week they are done, right? But when they choose to make conscious decisions, right, so that can totally shift the energy, and there is way more accountability with you, rather than restricting yourself for a long time and then binging. Make it a choice that, okay, I have this family dinner coming up and I'm going to have a glass of wine, I'm going to have this, and then I'll be good, right? So don't um, be your own enemy. Try to make sure you're taking some time, to share these moments with your family, right? Without really constantly thinking about food, or constantly worrying about food, or constantly beating yourself over the food, right? So these are some things you can do. If you are watching this live, say a quick hi. If you are watching this as a replay, you can put a hashtag as replay. And let's talk about healthy eating, especially during the holidays, and holiday healthy food swaps, right? So there are different food swaps that you can try. So one of the most common ones, I don't even know if I can pronounce it that well, I think it's charcuterie boards. So there's like a lot of cheese and crackers, nuts, white crackers made with like white flour. Um, you know, so if you are going for a lot of crackers and heavier cheeses, or a lot of nuts, these can also be difficult to digest, right? So if you are having these just before you have your dinner, it's not a good choice. So if you are going for a dinner and you really want to enjoy the dinner, maybe swap these cheese and crackers and nuts as appetizers. Rather, you can have veggies with some kind of a dip. One of my favorite ways to make a creamy dip without adding any dairy is to have an avocado base. So what I usually do is, I'll puree an avocado, I'll add some olive oil. It is still fattening, right? So it has good fat though. So it is still a fattier food, but it is good quality fat. So it's a monosaturated fat that is really good for you. So you can have small amounts of this guacamole or avocado dip, and you can have it with different vegetables, and that could be a nice replacement, right? And you can definitely, if you're hungry, if your digestive fire is strong, you could have small amounts, like even raw food, which we don't encourage in Ayurveda. You can definitely have small amounts of it. There are like sweet potato stuffings and made with brown sugar marshmallows, right? So try not to have too much sugar, right? You can definitely have roasted potatoes instead. You can add cinnamon, which will help balance your blood sugar as well. So this is a very simple rule of the thumb that you can follow. What you can definitely do is, if you're having something sweet, right, add some cinnamon to it. Cinnamon helps balance your blood sugar. So whether you're making a pie, add some cinnamon to it, or whether you're making like even an eggnog, add some cinnamon to it. So at least it's going to give you some benefit by balancing your blood sugar. So that's one simple trick to try. And rather than having, heavy sugary desserts, um, like there's a recipe where sweet potatoes are made with like brown sugar and marshmallows, and I was like, wow, that looks really like heavy. But you can save that sugar for your dessert time, and you can definitely have some sweet potatoes with kale or Brussels sprouts on the side. Now, why kale or Brussels sprouts? Because they help detoxify your body, they can help support your liver, and they can also help detoxify excess hormones in your system. Now remember that holiday season, most people are happy, drinking wine, and you want to make sure that you're giving your liver some extra support. And leafy green vegetables are a great way to increase the fiber, and cruciferous vegetables are a fantastic way to support your liver, right? So the sulforaphane found in broccoli, indole 3 carbinol found in broccoli, is really going to support liver detoxification. And if this time of the year, if you have a heavily overloaded liver because you're eating all sorts of fattier foods or a lot of sugar or heavier foods, this is definitely going to support you, right? Another recipe, one of the first recipes that I learned in Canada during, holiday dinner time was a green bean casserole. And I absolutely love green beans, like those are my favorite, I cook them all the time. But this green bean casserole was a dish that was made with like a thick pre-made mushroom soup, and then you add lots of cheese to it, and it's like a food coma dish, right? So what you could do instead is, you could saute green beans with fresh garlic, a little bit of almonds, and add a dash of lemon juice. Sometimes I'll skip the almonds and I'll substitute those for unsweetened coconut flakes, and it tastes absolutely delicious. So rather than making this green bean casserole, which is like really heavy, loaded with cream of mushroom and lots of salt as well, and salt also makes you retain that extra water in your body, right? In place of that, if you go for sauteed green beans, add some garlic, which is going to help digest it, add some coconut as well, which is going to give a really lovely flavor, and then you're adding some lemon juice as well, right? So a lot of people I see during the holiday season stress about, snacking on sweets, desserts, So you'll have desserts at every, dinner table. There'll be like cookies and butter tarts, which are like really as Canadian as they can get, pies and fudges. And, you have these sweets, and then an hour later, you're hungry, right? And you're also angry sometimes because your blood sugar has dropped, right? So one swap could be, if you are really hungry, maybe having dates, like dried fruit with some nuts is going to keep you a little bit stable, and it's also going to make sure you're getting that sweet fix, right? And it does not have any refined sugar. Again, dates are a nice nutritive tonic to your body, especially for women. You could get good amounts of, nutrients from date, right? So rather having dried dates or even figs are a good option. So rather than having those ready-made desserts, which you're eating like butter tarts and all, you could go for dried fruit in moderation. That's going to give you the sweet fix, and that also has other nutrients, and these are also going to have fiber in it, right? So that's extremely important to understand. Now, mashed potatoes is what people love. Like, I love mashed potatoes too. Who can say no to mashed potatoes, right? But the one thing with mashed potatoes that I see sometimes this time of the year is I also have clients who have arthritis. So today I wanted to make sure, the healthy holiday food swaps, I'm not just talking from a weight perspective or a dietary perspective, but I'm also talking about it from an inflammation perspective, right? So some people do have reactions to nightshades like tomatoes, potatoes, peppers, and eggplants. And potatoes are the most commonly eaten foods. I know they're at everybody's dinner table, especially during the holiday season. But if you are someone with a lot of arthritis, and if you don't want your joints getting hurt or waking up like a truck has hit you and you're run over by a truck with a lot of pain, what you could do is you could substitute these for mashed cauliflower instead. And I know cauliflower is taking over the world nowadays. Cauliflower is in everything you can imagine. It's a part of gluten-free pizzas. It's a part of your rice. You can have cauliflower rice. So there are so many different options you can use cauliflower for. And also remember that cauliflower is a part of this cruciferous family, which means it's going to help detoxify your body, right? It's going to help provide the digestive support. Also, it has lots of fiber, and it is not really a high calorie food, right? So trying to have mashed cauliflower, you can choose ghee rather than butter. And one of my Indianized versions of mashed cauliflower is I add a little bit of cumin, I'll add some ghee, and then I'll add some cooked cauliflower. And because I love spices, I'll also add a pinch of um, like a tiny pinch of what we call garam masala, which is like a spicy mix, and it tastes really good. But you can add thyme, oregano, any kind of spices that you want. And spices are going to help your digestion. They're going to ensure that you're breaking the nutrients down, and they're really going to help you. Now, I can see a few of you are watching this live. Mike says yes, for sure. So if you're watching this live, I would love to know that do you have any healthy substitutes for common holiday foods? Like, what is your to go, if you want to stay healthy during the holiday season? What are some tips, tricks that you use, or is there a food swap that you absolutely love? And I would love to know more about it, right? So then we talk about stuffing. Like, stuffing again is one of, like, it just tastes really good, right? Nobody can deny that. But if you make your own stuffing, if you buy a box stuffing, it's going to be like high in calories. It's going to have a lot of preservatives added to it, and it's going to have tons of salt, right? If you make your own stuffing from scratch, it's going to be way easier, and use as fresh herbs as possible. If you can find fresher vegetables, you might not get them straight out of the garden this time around the year, but vegetables like celery or carrots, you can try adding a variety of veggies, right? Just to make sure it's healthier. You can add some walnuts as well to your stuffing. It makes it taste delicious, and it's healthier as well. And you can cut down on the quantity of bread for people who react to any kind of gluten. For people who are who prefer a gluten free diet, you can definitely use a gluten free bread as well, and cut the bread into half, add a lot more vegetables, and you can still have your favorite stuffing. You can add celery, you can have add onions, you can add carrots, different delicious vegetables which will give you the flavor, and it's going to be healthy for you as well. The third one that's very common for children is mac and cheese, right? Like, kids wake up to mac and cheese most holiday season. But trying to go for even a cauliflower based sauce rather than having like the cheesier sauce with lots of heavy wheat pasta is a great alternative, right? And there are recipes you could definitely recreate. An example is, you could look at the regular eggnog, which is really popular, but you could definitely either limit its quantity, or you could go for maybe a healthier version of it, made with good fat, not less fat, but made with good fat that's supportive to your body, right? And made with less sugar, because most of the holiday drinks, what they do is they're going to be high in sugar, high in refined sugar, and they're going to throw your blood sugar off. So these are some simple things that you could do. Now, another replacement ideas that I have for you is, when we look at croutons, I was talking about the stuffing, or um, in stuffing you can definitely add walnuts. But if you're making a soup and you're looking for that croutons, with wheat, simple thing is adding some nuts or seeds toasted on top of your soup, or even salad, makes it taste really delicious. You're also going to get the healthy omega-3 fats as well as the fiber in place of the white bread that you were getting from the croutons, right? So this is another simple way to go for it. Ham is again one of the common not dessert, sorry, main meals that people have, And the one thing I talk about pork products is, that it can be really difficult to digest, right? So pork in Ayurveda, we talk about it as one of the heaviest things, and it's really fattening to the person, right? So if you are conscious about the calories that you're consuming, or if you have a lot of inflammation, or if you have poor digestion, chances are you are not going to be able to digest ham, right? So going for any other white meat, you could go for turkey or chicken, could be a better alternative at this time. Um, People who love pastas, like pastas, if that's your favorite dish and that's all you really want to eat, you can have a really good sauce that you make, and you can always have it with spaghetti squash. And spaghetti squash has good fiber. It's also pretty delicious to taste. It's not bad tasting at all, right? So I think I have a lot of things covered here. um Again, with alcohol, try to be mindful of how much you consume. There are beverages which have low levels of alcohol with natural fermentation. You could look at kombucha, for example. It is a fizzier drink, so if you feel you're left out and everybody else is having a beer or everybody else is having drinks, and you don't really want to have alcohol, a kombucha can be a good alternative. There are slight fizzier drinks if you don't want to be left out. What I do is I'll have a club soda and I'll just add some lemon to it. You could add some grapefruit juice or some kind of pineapple juice to it, and that's another option, right? But kombucha also is going to have this probiotic value in it, so it will have some good bacteria as well as good yeast that can support your body, and it can definitely be a much better alternative to alcohol. And if you do end up having a few drinks or indulging in wine, make sure you're staying hydrated. So there is no replacement for water. We are talking about healthy holiday food swaps, but absolutely there is no replacement for water, right? So please hydrate yourself during the holiday season. It's often that we eat a lot but we forget to drink the water, right? So make sure you're well hydrated, because that's going to support all the detoxification mechanisms in your body, right? So thank you once again for watching this. If you have any suggestions about healthy holiday food swaps, I would love to know. I would love to give them a try. So please, post it in the comments, and I will see you soon. Thanks for showing up live, and have a fantastic Wednesday. I will see you soon. Bye for now.